Hello friends, myself Ashok Bagla from Dr. Subhash Technical Campus, and today we are going to discuss about balancing of V engine from the dynamics of machinery. So let us start. So we know that in a V engine or a radial engine, so V engine is a two-cylinder radial engine in which connecting rods are fixed to a common crank. In another way, we can say that the center line of cylinder form a V letter. So that's why it is also known as a V engine. In a V engine, suppose we consider this is a center line of cylinder 1, this is a center line of cylinder 2. So both form a V letter. So it is known as a V engine. In a V engine, the cylinder have a common crank, and this crank revolve in a one plane. So there is no primary and secondary couple. So in a V engine, there is no presence of primary and secondary couple. So only primary and secondary forces are there. So let us consider some notation. M is the mass of reciprocating part. So let us consider a V engine. So here, this is the center line of cylinder 1, this is the center line of cylinder 2, and the angle between the center line of two cylinder is alpha plus alpha, that means 2 alpha. So 2 alpha is a V angle. This is the vertical axis and this is the horizontal axis. O is the center of rotation of crank and OC is a crank. So CP is connecting rod, one connecting rod which is connect crank with the piston of cylinder 1, and CQ is another connecting rod which connect crank and piston of cylinder 2. So let us consider some notation. M is the mass of reciprocating part per cylinder. That means M, we can say that M is the mass of piston. L is the length of connecting rod. So there are two connecting rod and both connecting rod having L length. Small r is the radius of crank. So there is only one crank because both connecting rod are attached to a common crank. Small n is the obliquity ratio is equal to L by R. Theta, crank angle measured from vertical axis OY. So here we assume this angle from the vertical line, crank make an angle theta degree. Omega is the angular speed of crank and 2 alpha is a V angle. So we can say that angle between lines of stroke of cylinders. So we know that if we consider only this mechanism, that means crank, connecting rod and cylinder, then it is become a single cylinder engine. So we know that in a single cylinder engine, some primary unbalanced forces are acting and secondary unbalanced forces are acting. So primary forces is Fp is m omega square r cos theta acting along the line of stroke, and similarly secondary forces is m omega square r cos 2 theta upon n. It is also acting along the line of stroke. But here we consider this one. First we analyze cylinder 1 and then we analyze for another mechanism. So here we have considered 2 alpha is a V angle. So if we imagine symmetric figure, then this center line of cylinder 1 make an angle alpha degree with vertical axis. Similarly, center line of cylinder 2 makes an angle alpha degree with vertical axis. Okay, now here the theta, this is, so whenever we have discussed about primary and secondary unbalanced forces, then theta, what is theta? So theta is a angle between crank and line of stroke, center line of cylinder, we can say that center line of cylinder. So here this is another theta. So theta is a angle between crank and center line of cylinder. So primary force is m omega square r cos theta and secondary force is m omega square r cos 2 theta upon small n. So we know that along the line of stroke there is a primary forces and secondary forces, but these forces are for a cylinder 1. So here we write Fp1 and Fs1. So Fp1 is a primary forces in a cylinder 1. Fs1 is a secondary forces along the center line of cylinder 1. Similarly, Fp2 and Fs2 are primary and secondary unbalanced forces along the central line of cylinder 2. So, this component Fp1 and Fs1 having also two component, horizontal component and vertical component. Similarly, the Fs2 and Fp2 having also two component, horizontal component and vertical component. So let us resolve the component. So primary forces. So primary forces in individual cylinder. So if we consider primary forces for cylinder 1 is by notation 1, then Fp1 it is a primary forces in cylinder 1. So we know that the equation of primary forces is m omega square r into cos and theta, but theta is the angle between crank and central line of cylinder 1. So here the angle, this is a crank and this is a central line of cylinder 1. So this angle is alpha minus theta. So this is total angle is alpha and this angle is theta. So the angle between crank and central line of cylinder is alpha minus theta. So here we put alpha minus theta. So primary Fp1, that means primary unbalanced force in a cylinder 1 is become m omega square r cos in bracket alpha minus theta. Similarly, primary unbalanced forces acting along the line of stroke of cylinder 2. So again Fp2 it is for cylinder 2. So m omega square r into cos. Now here we write a theta. So theta is nothing but it is a angle between crank and central line of cylinder. So if we consider cylinder 2, this is cylinder 2 and this is cranks and this is a theta. So theta become alpha plus theta. So here we write m omega square r into cos in bracket alpha plus theta. So here alpha plus theta is our angle between crank and line of stroke of cylinder 2. So now we obtain two equation. We have two equation. Fp1 it is a primary unbalanced force acting along the line of stroke of cylinder 1. Fp2 it is a primary unbalanced force acting along the line of stroke of cylinder 2. So total primary force along the vertical line. Now if we consider vertical total primary force along the vertical line, that means this component having one vertical component and this component, this force having also one vertical component. So total, so we can say that Fp1 into cos alpha, this angle is alpha. So this force having two components, vertical and horizontal. So vertical component become Fp1 cos alpha again and Fp2 cos alpha. So here we rewrite primary force, the total vertical component of primary force. So FPV is equal to FPV cos alpha plus FP2 cos alpha. So if we put the value of FP1, then M FP1 and FP2, then M omega square r cos in bracket alpha minus theta into bracket complete into cos alpha plus M omega square r cos in bracket alpha plus theta into cos alpha. So if we expand, then we obtain cos alpha into cos theta minus sin alpha into sin theta. And here if we expand this equation, then cos alpha into cos theta minus sin alpha into sin theta. So again if we take common, cos alpha is we consider common, then we consider m omega square r into cos alpha, we obtain in bracket cos alpha minus theta plus cos alpha plus theta. If we expand these two equations, then here the cos alpha minus theta means cos alpha cos theta plus sin alpha sin theta. And here cos alpha plus theta means cos alpha into cos theta minus sin alpha sin theta. So in this case there is a plus sin alpha sin theta and here minus sin alpha sin theta. So that terms will be nullified. So only remains 2 times cos alpha into cos theta. So finally vertical component become FPV is equal to 2 omega square r cos theta cos square theta. Here it is cos square theta into cos theta. Sorry. Vertical component FPV is equal to 2m omega square into r cos square alpha into cos theta. So same way we required total primary force along the horizontal line. Total primary force along the horizontal line. So this is force, and having one component is in this direction and one component is in this direction. So Fp1 sine alpha. So Fp1 sine alpha in this direction, and Fp1 sine alpha, Fp2 sine alpha in this direction. So here we write Fp1, here we write Fp1 sin alpha minus Fp2 sin alpha. So put the value m omega square r cos alpha minus theta into sin alpha minus m omega square r cos alpha plus theta into sin alpha. So take a common. So am omega square r into sin alpha is common. So we obtain cos alpha minus cos theta minus cos alpha into sin cos alpha in bracket alpha plus theta. If we again expand this equation, then the equation of cos alpha minus beta we use here. So cos alpha cos theta plus sin alpha sin theta minus cos alpha cos theta minus minus plus sin alpha sin theta. So here cos alpha cos theta will be nullify, so only remain 2 times alpha into sin theta. So we obtain vertical component is 2m omega square r sin square alpha into sin theta. Now we have two component, one is a vertical component, we have vertical component and horizontal component. So horizontal component is f p h and here f p v. So we can obtain resultant. So resultant fp r is equal to under root fpv square plus fph square. So if we put the value and if we simplify the equation, then we obtain fp is equal to m omega square r in a root in a bracket cos square alpha into cos theta bracket square plus in a bracket sin square alpha into sin theta bracket square. And if we want an angle made by the resultant with the vertical line, then beta p is tan inverse vertical component upon horizontal component. So we obtain, if we put the value, then we get beta p is tan inverse in a bracket tan square alpha into tan theta. Similarly, if we resolve vertical component and horizontal component of secondary forces, then we obtain an equation Fs is equal to 2 by n into m into omega square into r in under root in a bracket cos alpha into cos 2 alpha into cos 2 theta bracket whole square plus in a bracket sin alpha plus sin 2 alpha into sin 2 theta whole square. And the angle with the vertical line we obtain beta s is tan inverse in a bracket tan alpha into tan 2 alpha into tan theta. So in a V engine, we have derived primary unbalanced force and secondary unbalanced forces. Let us consider one example based on balancing of V engine. So here the example is a twin cylinder V engine having angle of 60 degree. A twin cylinder V engine having V angle of 60 degree has a stroke of 120 mm and the connecting rods of length 240 mm. The mass of reciprocating parts per cylinder is 2 kg. If crank speed is 2000 rpm, determine the magnitude of primary and secondary forces. So let us consider V engine. Let us consider this is OX is a horizontal axis and OY is a vertical axis. Now here the V angle for the cylinder V engine is 60 degree. So we consider the 2 alpha, this angle is 2 alpha, it is 60 degree. So this is the center line of cylinder 1 and this one is the center line of cylinder 2. Here we consider this is our cylinder 1 and this is our cylinder 2. Now these two cylinders, in cylinder 1 there is one piston is connected with this crank by this connecting rod. So PC is connecting rod and OC is crank. Similarly, the QC is a connecting rod which connect the piston in a cylinder Okay, now the crank OC makes an angle theta degree in clockwise direction with vertical axis in initial condition. Now we know that in a single cylinder engine, the primary and secondary unbalanced forces acting along the line of stroke. So let us, if we assume in this direction Fp1 and Fs1, these are the primary and secondary unbalanced forces along the line of stroke of cylinder 1, and similarly Fp2 and Fs2, these are the primary and secondary unbalanced forces along the line of stroke of cylinder 2. Now here the angle V angle is given 60 degree, so we write here 2 alpha is given 60 degree. This V angle is, we consider is 2 alpha, so here 2 alpha is given 6 degree, so alpha is become 30 degree. Now the stroke 1 is given 120 mm, so stroke S is given 120 mm, and we know that stroke is nothing but it is a stroke is equal to 2 times radius, so here we write 2r, so we get radius of crank is 60 mm, means 0.06 meter. Now length of connecting rod is 240 mm is given, so we consider 0.24 meter. So we have radius of crank and length of connecting rod, so we can calculate obliquity ratio small n is equal to L upon R. So we get the L upon R is equal to 4. Now the mass of reciprocating part per cylinder is 2 kg, so small m is 2 kg, and the crank speed is 2000 rpm. So if we determine omega, so omega is equal to 2 pi n upon 60 in radian per second. So if we put here n is equal to 2000, then we get omega is equal to 209.43 radian per second. Now primary forces. So primary force is acting along the central line of cylinder 1 and 2. So here the primary force Fp1 is acting along the line of stroke of cylinder 1 and Fp2 is acting along the line of stroke of cylinder 2. Now these two forces are acting along the cylinder 1 and along the central line of cylinder 2. Okay, so we consider this Fp1 having two component, horizontal component and vertical component. Similarly Fp2 having same two component, vertical component and horizontal component. So now let us consider the primary force is acting along the central line of cylinder 1 and 2. So we know the equation of primary force is equal to m omega square r into cos in bracket alpha minus theta. So why we have considered this equation? So in a general, the primary force is equal to m omega square r into cos theta. Okay, but theta is a angle of crank with the line of stroke of cylinder, or we can say that with the central line of cylinder. So here in first case we consider theta, so this angle is theta. Okay, so this angle will become alpha minus theta, so this angle is alpha minus theta, but in this case this angle is alpha plus theta. So here we put value m omega square r into cos in bracket alpha minus theta, and here alpha is given 30 degree, so we get m omega square r cos in bracket 30 degree minus theta. Similarly fp2, so in this case the theta is become alpha plus theta, so here we write m omega square r in bracket cos alpha plus theta, so is equal to m omega square r cos 30 degree plus theta. So the total primary force acting along the vertical axis, so in this direction total primary force acting along the vertical axis, so this angle is alpha, this angle is alpha. So in a vertical, if we consider Fp1, the component of Fp1 in a vertical direction, then we can say that it is Fp1 cos alpha, and similarly the Fp2, the vertical component of Fp2 is also acting in this direction, so we consider plus Fp2 cos alpha. Okay, if we put the value, then we get this equation. Okay, So m omega square r into cos in bracket 30 minus theta into cos 30 plus m omega square r cos in bracket 30 plus theta into cos 30. Okay, now if we put the value, if we simplify this equation, if we take common m omega square r into cos 30, so we get in a bracket cos 30 degree minus theta plus cos 30 degree plus theta. If we solve this equation, then we get 2 cos theta into cos 30, so we get 2 m omega square r cos square 30 into cos theta. So cos 30, if we again simplify, then we get 1.5 m omega square r into cos theta. The total primary force acting along the horizontal axis. So along the horizontal axis we have considered sine. So fp1 sin theta is in this direction and fp2 sin theta is in this direction. So total primary force acting along the horizontal axis, so fph is equal to fp1 sin alpha minus fp2 sin alpha, because fp1 sin alpha acting in this direction and fp2 sin alpha acting in this direction. So m omega square r in bracket cos 30 degree minus theta into sin 30 minus m omega square r cos 30 degree plus theta into sin 30. So if we take a common m omega square r into sin 30, so we get cos 30 minus theta minus cos 30 plus theta. If we simplify, then we get m omega square r sin 30 into 2 sin theta into sin 30. So again we get fph is equal to 2 m omega square r into sin square 30 into sin theta in a Newton. So now we have two component, one is a horizontal component of primary forces and another one is a vertical component of primary forces. Then we can calculate resultant primary force fp is equal to under root fpv square plus fph square. So if we put the value, then we get 1.5 m omega square r in the root cos square theta plus sin square theta. And if we put the value of omega, m and theta, then we get this value is equal to 7874.96 Newton. So fp is equal to 7874.96 Newton. Similarly, now we consider secondary forces. So we know that the secondary forces along the line of central line of cylinder 1 and 2. So fs1 is equal to m omega square r into cos bracket alpha minus theta upon n. So we can write here m omega square r into cos 2 in bracket 30 minus theta upon n. Similarly, fs2 is equal to m omega square r into cos 2 in bracket 30 plus theta upon n. So we know that fs1 and fs2 having two component, horizontal component and vertical component. Now vertical component having in the same direction, so we add the vertical component. So total secondary force along the vertical axis, so fsv is equal to fs1 cos alpha plus fs2 cos alpha. So if we put the value, then we get m omega square r cos 2 in bracket 30 degree minus theta upon n cos 30 plus m omega square r cos 2 in bracket 30 plus theta upon n into cos 30. If we simplify, then we get fsv is equal to 0.866 m omega square r upon n into cos 2 theta. So total secondary force acting along the horizontal axis. Now we consider the secondary forces acting along the horizontal axis. So but in a horizontal axis, so fs1 sin alpha acting in this direction and fs2 sin alpha acting in this direction. So total secondary force acting along the horizontal direction, we can say that, so total secondary force along the horizontal axis is equal to f secondary horizontal is equal to fs1 sin alpha minus fs2 sin alpha. So if we put the value m omega square r into cos 2 in bracket 30 degree minus theta upon n into sin 30 minus
m omega square r into cos 2 in bracket 30 degree plus theta upon n into sin 30. Now we take common m omega square r upon n into sin 30. So we get in a bracket cos 2 in bracket 30 degree minus theta minus cos 2 in bracket 30 degree plus theta. If we simplify this equation by using cos alpha minus beta equation and cos alpha plus beta equation, then we get m omega square r upon n into sin 30 into 2 sin 60 into sin 2 theta. If we put the value of sin 30 and sin 60, then we get FSH is equal to 0.866 m omega square r upon n into sin 2 theta Newton. So now we have horizontal component of secondary forces and vertical component of secondary forces. So we can calculate resultant secondary force. So resultant secondary force Fs is equal to under root Fsv square plus Fs h square. So if we put the value, then we get 0.8066 m omega square r upon n in under root cos 2 theta square plus sin 2 theta square. So if we put the value of m omega r n and theta, then we get secondary force is equal to 1139.50 Newton. That means 1139.50 Newton. So this is our secondary force.
Thank you.